Hello, good afternoon. We will start in a few minutes. Me? Okay, can we start now? Good afternoon, everyone, to our speaker, colleagues, and to all our virtual participants. When we start this activity with a short prayer, let us put ourselves in the presence of God. Dear Lord God, we bind ourselves today as one family of yours. We are reaching out your holy name, picking up your blessed promise that when two or three among us are gathered in your name, you will stay in our midst. Today, the 𝓔𝓷𝓻𝓲𝓷, as part of its service trust, is intensely promoting an ETALK, an activity meant to cater to the needs of our clients, the faculty, staff, students, and the general community. Lord, help and lead us through this endeavor. Provide us with your divine perspective higher than our human thoughts, so we will be able to see what is rightful in your sight. Bless your chosen speaker, O Lord, so we will learn many good things and bright ideas from him. Equip us all with your wisdom, Lord, to always acknowledge you as the only source of knowledge and understanding. In all these things, we humbly pray in the name of Jesus. Amen. So once again, good afternoon, everyone. And we would like to acknowledge our participants, students, faculty, and colleagues. So to welcome us, in behalf of Mrs. 𝓔𝓷𝓻𝓲𝓷, our acting university librarian, because she is on leave, please allow me to read her welcome address message. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Silliman University Library series of ETALK. As we provide virtual library service to our customers, our goal is to continue collaborating and engaging with the different colleges, programs, and departments of this university to have more information and knowledge sharing avenues. On behalf of Silliman University Library family, who remain committed and resilient and continue to serve with compassion to our library clientele, let me welcome another eminent mind, Dr. 𝓞𝓻𝓲𝓷𝓷. It is also my joy to welcome our students, scholars, faculty, and administrators of Silliman University and those joining us on social media. It is so timely that we have this ETALK entitled Community-Based Research for Service Learning. Our speaker, a seasoned researcher and mentor, has taken out of his busy schedule to share his knowledge on the principles of community-based research and the integration of service learning practice. Welcome to another learning moment. This activity is accessible and open to everybody, where our participants can have an intellectual discourse with the speaker. Welcome also to those scholars who publish and never perish. Okay, so this afternoon, the speaker chooses a topic on community-based research for service learning to be shared for our ETALK activity, for this is one of the library's initiative that will enhance the teaching-learning relationship among the 21st century stakeholders. So before we begin and formally introduce our speaker this afternoon, there are a few rules that we must observe. Number one, please mute your microphone and turn off your camera if not needed. Your name in Zoom shall appear coded by your honorific name, affiliation, so that you will be acknowledged. For Zoom participants, questions and clarifications will be entertained after the talk. By then, you may turn on your cam and mic, or you may use the chat box. The moderator will cue if you are already recognized. For FB Live participants, you may share or tag mention your friends to join this FB Live stream. But please refrain from posting unnecessary comments in the comment section. For FB Live participants, you may key in your questions and clarifications in the comment section, but will be entertained after the talk. Please stay until the end of the e-talk. So without further much ado, let me introduce to you our resource speaker for today. Dr. 𝓔𝓷𝓻𝓲𝓷 is concurrently Professor of Anthropology and Sociology and the Director for Research of Silliman University, Dumaguete City, Negros Oriental. He earned his bachelor in 1980, cum laude, and Master of Arts in 1985, degrees major in Sociology from Silliman University, while he completed his PhD in Anthropology in 2006 from the University of San Carlos. Dr. 𝓔𝓷𝓻𝓲𝓷 was also a United Board Fellow assigned at the Chinese University of Hong Kong in 2011, the Baylor University, Texas, USA in 2012. He is also a regular member of the National Research Council of the Philippines, or the NRCP, and past board member of the Anthropological Association of the Philippines, or the Ugnayang Pang-Agham-Tao, or UGAT, and the Philippine Sociological Society, or PSS. He was a zonal and qualifier recipient of the Republica, or Research and Publication Award, of the Commission of Higher Education in 2005 and 2016, respectively, for publications in the social sciences. His disciplinary interest is environmental anthropology, but his publications in local, national, and international journals and books are specific to Negrito adaptation, gender issues, education and service learning, ecotourism and protected area management, cultural heritage management, aging and health, and culture of disaster and resiliency. As of February 2022, he has a total of 1,068 citations with an H index of 9 and an I-10 index of 8 listed in Google Scholar. Everyone, please help me to virtually welcome Dr. 𝓔𝓷𝓻𝓲𝓷𝓷.
Thank you very much, Ma'am Isabel Marino, for a kind introduction. That would tell also the age of your lecturer this afternoon. Somehow there may be a correlation between publication and age. And I would like to thank also the Library of Silliman University for inviting me this afternoon to share some of my experiences in research, particularly in conducting community-based research. But then I added with emphasis on using this one for service learning. So let me share now my screen so we could start. And I'm hoping that you would be learning something from this presentation. So there are two terms here in the title. First is community-based research and service learning. I'm going to untangle these concepts later on and connect them to show that they are really terms and practices that could go well together. Sorry, I cannot move my. Okay, let me go first to the objectives of the webinar. So at least you would be guided. What are the expectations? But I'm not expecting you to do this at this time. This is something that you could work later after you have, gathered some tips on how to do community-based research in relation to your conduct of service learning. So you're expected to describe the nature and importance of community-based research, both in academic and development work. And then I expect also that hopefully you could write and submit a community-based research proposal for funding that you would conduct. For Silliman faculty, and being the research director, I am very much willing to mentor you and to review your proposal if ever you submit to the Research and Development Center for the modest grant of 50,000 pesos per project. And then lastly, hopefully you could outline in your course syllabus that is appropriate for teaching community-based research, and then associate this or relate this with service learning. So these are the three things that hopefully you would be able to learn from this webinar. So what are the topics that I'm going to discuss? First, we will look into the nature of community-based research. What is it? And then the principles of community-based research, the rationale for doing community-based research, the features of successful community-based research, the benefits of community-based research, and how it could be integrated in the course. So course integration of community-based research, the preliminary activities with the partner communities, and the last would be a proposal on how to write, a format on how to write the proposal as well as the manuscript. And that manuscript is not simply a report, but designed for publication already. Because ultimately, any research activity should culminate with publication. The process, therefore, is from the conceptualization or inception of the idea or a topic to research on, and that will ultimately end with the sharing of those results through publication. So let me start with this, with the concept of service learning, so I could later on connect this with community-based research. I considered, or literature would consider, service learning as one type of community engagement. There are several types of community engagement. So we have outreach, we have extension work, we have on-the-job training, we have internship, then we have this one, service learning. All of those are different from each other in terms of strategies, but very much similar in terms of the learning objectives. But somehow the conduct may differ and the specific expectations may be different. Because in the first place, service learning is a combination of service and academic learning. It is a pedagogy or a teaching method, and therefore it's a manner of how a course or a lesson is being taught that combines extending help or assistance to a community, but then on the process learning of, from those experiences. And in this case, therefore, it is so different from outreach. It is so different from extension, where all the intention is to help and to assist. In the case of service learning, learning is something that has to be gained, and the students are being graded for the learning, not necessarily for the service. No, the service is just an instrument for that. And there are 4 general types of community service: capability building, advocacy, needs-specific services, and then research. And it is here where we are putting in or showing the relationship between service learning and community-based research. Capability building involves teaching skills and other problem-solving activities to a community. And when you talk about a community, it's not a geographic unit, but any group that has a shared interest and concern. In advocacy, it's more of working in a community for the purpose of promoting certain behavior, promoting certain concerns that have to be addressed by the people themselves. Then the needs-specific services focuses on a particular group, like children, like the elderly, and particular services are designed for them. Then we have research. So actually, when you talk about research here, it could also cover all those 3 other types of community services for the purpose of, 1, documenting the process, the learning process, as well as the impact of those activities. But then we have to distinguish between traditional versus community-based. And now I'm going to proceed to what then is community-based as compared to traditional research. So what is the nature of community-based research? What makes it different from traditional research? First, with the similarity, both of them, traditional research and community-based research, intends to create or discover knowledge. So that's the purpose. Both creates and discovers knowledge. So research is for knowledge production, and eventually for dissemination and then utilization. But community-based research is more specific. It addresses a community-identified need with the people and for the people. So take note, the topic or the focus or the concern is something that has been identified by the people themselves. And the process of getting data and solving the research question is with the people, because at the end, the results of this will go back to the people. So I have shown here an example. Example would be doing an assessment and then doing an action research with the people themselves, identifying what is it to be investigated and wherein they could help. This, therefore, makes community-based research as collaborative, where faculty members, students, and community members can work together in the process. So you could see then that community-based research is bottoms up, not from top then to the bottom, or designing a project from the top and then cascade this below. Rather, the interactions of the faculty and students with the community allow them to generate what kind of research topic they have to pursue. So it adheres to the whole idea of transformation. So community-based research is transformative in terms of teaching and engaged scholarship. So whatever is your field, if you are into, like in my case, anthropology or sociology, then this makes your scholarship or makes it public anthropology or public sociology. Or you could go into a discipline that intentionally to work with people. So what are the principles of community-based research based on those qualities or nature of community-based research? As mentioned earlier, it's collaborative. So here we have the specific steps or the stages of the research process where you have this collaboration with the people whom you are going to study with. So first is the identification of the issues. And when you talk about issues here, these are problems that require solutions. And from those issues and problems identified, the research problems are formulated together with the community, which would lead to the gathering of data and analysis, also together with the community, and eventually the dissemination of the results together with the community. And along with this also is the identification of solution to the problem that was identified. So being collaborative allows us to empower the community to have voices, to have that participation in the whole process of identifying their problem per se, up to the point that we would be able to identify the solution together with the researchers. And that could be the faculty and students. Along with those things I had mentioned, it is because one of the principles of community-based research is change-oriented, and it aims to effect positive social change, change to the better, assuming therefore that the present situation is problematic. And that situation of being problematic must be felt by the people themselves, rather than telling them that this is your problem. Because any attempt to solve a problem that they don't feel as a problem would always be futile. The whole process therefore requires that the problem is felt and people have identified themselves as suffering from that kind of problem, so they could help in providing the data, finding the solutions that ultimately then would result to community empowerment. Rather than simply telling them this is the solution is something that they had identified together with the researchers. And this includes already policies, projects, and programs, and so on. So the second principle, it is change-oriented. It is also inclusive, where it seeks to democratize knowledge and recognizes and values the ideas of all involved. And it accommodates all expertise by having a diversified methods. Currently, we are in the process of having this. We are yet at a point that we are immersing ourselves. And that's an example I will show to you later. Working with women in fishing communities. We are yet in the process of immersing ourselves with these women, but eventually that would lead to a community-based research. So what's the rationale? First, we are promoting interdisciplinary work. I think it's recognized that treating a problem may create another problem if you're not able to target or to include all aspects that perhaps have contributed to the problem. And there are many examples of programs that may have solved a particular problem, but then it created another problem. So the benefit here comes from different expertise through the involvement of people. And when we talk about involvement of people, this is both from the academe and the community. Right now, in this illustration I will show later on, we are working with nutrition and dietetics department, and we're also working with faculty from the College of Business Administration, and then we have sociology and anthropology in our team, because no one has a monopoly of knowledge. And in fact, in the community, we also involve different kinds of people. It recognizes, therefore, multiple implications. Because of interdisciplinarity, it recognizes multiple implications. And this surface, that several issues surface due to the involvement of different experts and address concerns of the community. Interestingly, in the process of working with the community, there are new ideas that crop up, which we in the academy don't know. But as we talk to them, there were some solutions. There were some new ideas that we later on refined more to be integrated to the concept or model of working with the community that we are developing. So sometimes we tend to own a certain model or idea, but in community-based research, working with the people, actually those models or ideas come from different sources, and this have to be recognized. At the end, therefore, we are giving more benefits to all involved. So the benefits of the research outputs are available to a good number of people, and it's not only the academic researcher. Certainly, the academic researcher would benefit in terms of the research outputs, the publication, but in community-based research, the impact of any intervention, the results of the solution identified, and the activities being undertaken would be the benefit that you would enjoy. Right now, in the academe, particularly if the research is a requirement for graduation, we tend to focus more on the benefits that we'll get out from it. So it's more of a basic kind of research, not applied. And therefore, talking about basic and applied, community-based research is more of applied research. So it's not just for knowledge sake, but for generating data, identifying solution in order to solve a particular problem, specific problem identified by the community themselves. So what are the drivers for community-based research? First, I mean, if you're in the from the academy, what are the drivers? What are the motivation for us to engage in community-based research? First is to make higher education sensitive to community issues and problems. At Silliman, for example, particularly that we are so much concerned about whole person education, we have what you call the 5 C's, no? And one of the C's, of course, is community, and therefore uh, we 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 really intend that our academic activities is not only confined inside the classroom or the campus, but is being extended to the community. And doing community-based research is one of those ways to realize such kind of vision. Then, to demonstrate that academic teaching is broader and relevant to address societal concerns. So, teaching is not only confined with what is written in the books. Well, certainly what's written in the book is derived from research, but if you reinforce that with actual experiences in the community, then you're able to broaden the knowledge, your knowledge, as well as the knowledge of our students that are relevant to address those social issues or concerns. And therefore, at the end, would be able to, produce graduates who are engaged with community issues and critical with government's ability to effect positive change. And therefore, we're able to prepare them to assume social or community roles, not simply producing students who are driven by their own personal desire to improve their status, but students who equally think of their personal benefit as well as the corresponding benefit that others would enjoy. Now, I highlighted those terms or words that are very critical as drivers of community-based research. Having an education that is sensitive to the community, that is broader and relevant in terms of focus, and being able to produce engaged graduates who are critical and prepared to confront social realities. So what are the features of successful community-based research? First, it is anchored on the idea of mutual respect and trust. Meaning we trust each other who are working together, that we can contribute resources in terms of ideas, in terms of efforts, and we trust the community that they are capable also of doing, and the community themselves trusted us that we come for our sincere concern of them, rather than simply doing it for those drivers mentioned earlier that are basically academic. But that our concern is we are able to learn about them, at the same time they benefit from what we learn from them. And in service learning, there's that principle known as reciprocity. And that's basically what makes really community-based research uh, uh, relevant or compatible with service learning. Second, because of something that we live in the community after we're engaged with them, and if ever what we did was successful, we're able to establish a sustainable partnership. Oftentimes, if there are projects, funded projects in particular, that after the project has been terminated, the community returns to what was it originally, and therefore there was no, I mean, the benefits or the effect of a project was not sustained. The whole idea, therefore, is if we engage in community-based research and we have institutionalized service learning, we'll be able to have a continuous engagement with the community. And such engagement is something that is mutually agreed upon by parties. So each one becomes accountable and each one really thinks that they have something to contribute for that kind of partnership between the academe and the community to continue. What is also a very important feature of a successful community-based research is flexibility. Its ability to adapt to issues in the community along the way of gathering data. And we had experienced it. If you're going to compare quantitative and qualitative research, we always say that qualitative research is more flexible in terms of ways of gathering data and how to do that in the community. And it's something like that also in community-based research, particularly if we are using qualitative method of gathering as participant observation and so on. We tend to be flexible because we really wanted to capture what those issues, to capture the responses of people to issues that suddenly crop up. And the time of the pandemic was a good example of how we try to be flexible in dealing with the people in the community. From face to face, then we tend to go to virtual, but then there's a problem of connectivity. So we went into small group gatherings. Then later on, we went to individual interaction, just to be able to gather the kind of data that we need. It is grounded on existing strength. That's a very important point. And therefore, we're taking advantage of local experts. So when you do community-based research, you don't think that you are the expert. The experts are the people in the community. That's why, as I mentioned somewhere, as I mentioned also earlier about service learning and the principles of reciprocity, it goes with the idea that they have something to contribute, they have something to input in the research process. Similarly, that you have something to input also. In other words, there's power distribution. We have local experts and we have experts from the academy. They have practical knowledge, we have theoretical knowledge. So imagine if these types of knowledge are brought together, you have a very, very good product. Not only theoretical, but as well as practical, and has survived the challenge of time. And that's why we have this move also to take seriously the perceptions of people. Sometimes we disregard perception as simply superstitious, simply an opinion, but take note, in a real sense, perceptions are based on experiences, and they have good grounding and why they have such kind of perceptions. So, in other words, there must be something good we can get out from perceptions as compared to our way of gathering data that is really very objective, where we have measures, but sometimes it's very difficult to implement once we are in the community. So we have to take advantage of local experts because they can contribute to the process of gathering relevant data. The rigor of methods. Since we have academic researchers as part of the team, and therefore there is that assurance that the methods, although have to be flexible, but still it follows what is considered scientific. So take note, quantitative research and qualitative research follow the same principles of being systematic. And well, certainly you know that there are limitations for both, no? And that's the whole point here, that because academic researchers are present, then they're able to really maintain the rigor of the methods. And what's more important also is that a successful community-based research is guided by ethics. We follow ethical standards, and therefore we ensure that all the principles of ethics in research, like beneficence, uh, freedom. I mean, you know, what I mean, the privacy of people involved, and the bad effects are, or the negative effects or consequences had been addressed, so that's not going to happen, are all, considered in doing community-based research. So just like any other types of research where we have to secure ethics clearance, our assurance that we abide to the rules of ethical research. So what are the benefits of community-based research? So we start with the faculty. So this is a way of encouraging faculty. Oh, you go to community-based research, given all those positive features, given all those promises of being able to do it with the community, and it has uh, good results, not only for the researcher but also for the people involved. So the first one is really open service learning opportunity. It opens service learning opportunity and ensures better recruitment of research participants, because you're working together with the community and they identify who would be those who could participate in the process. And this recognizes multiple realities, not a single reality, and therefore provides varied sources of knowledge, which we need as we teach also our students. And it increases the validity of research findings, because we are directly working with the people, and directly they could negate what we present to them, and therefore we are assured that our results are acceptable. And at the end, given all those, it promotes culture of research and publication. It promotes culture of research and publication, which is one of the requirements of, faculty who are who are who are uh, who are destined to be in the academy. Promotion-wise, research and publications are required. Accreditation, these are also required, and so on. How about for students? What will for students who would be involved in community-based research? Similarly, it opens service learning opportunity. Take note, earlier I said that one of the services that we could extend to the community is through research. Why is it a service? Because we're able to generate data that address a problem, and this data is used to design a program or a project for them, and therefore it becomes a service. No? So students who are engaged in community-based research together with their teachers have that opportunity of experiencing service learning. It allows them to learn from school and community experts. But of course, at this time of the pandemic, it's difficult. During normal times, that is really true. But despite that, we have this pandemic and face-to-face instruction is prohibited, we can do it online. And that depends on what kind of subject where this is being integrated. So what subjects are benefiting us right now, if ever they go into service learning? Those subjects that involve information technology. So students in IT, students in communication perhaps could make use of the technology to connect with certain community. So it's applying learning in real situation as community service. For example, if they're taught about doing research, this one could be a good example, together with the teacher, of course. Then it's increasing the appreciation of the social meanings of the career path they have chosen. So, like if they were in social work, if they're in sociology and anthropology, even in entrepreneurship, they could find meanings of those disciplines that they're into. Nursing, again, there are just some problems right now because of the restrictions in gatherings, large number of people, and because also we are prohibited yet to engage in face-to-face learning. It is really different thing at the time when, as I've said, everything is normal. Personally, I could say that my students very much enjoyed what we're doing in the community, those times that we're free in terms of our movement. How about for the community? It provides venues to link with public and private agencies. It's an opportunity for them to express their ideas, to forward their concerns through the students or through the teachers. So it becomes a way that they could solicit projects uh, or forward certain costs that would like to be addressed, because they could influence, because with that they may be able to influence local decision making with the data that are available, that were generated with their participation. And therefore, it improves local practices based on common knowledge and science. So what they had been doing perhaps could be corrected or be modified to ensure that it's safe and follows required regulations, whatever that may be. And so it opens up new opportunities which are exposed by research data. This would truly then would tell that the community could be or is a rich source of ideas. The only thing is when they are not uh, uh, significantly involved in the research process, we will not be able to uh, open up all these uh, possibilities of bringing out new information, and which would become basis for certain activities that would benefit them as a community. So the next question now is, how are we going to integrate community-based research in our course? As a teacher, and if you're interested to consider community-based research as your service learning activity, take note that it must be appropriate to the course. That the learning competencies required of the course uh, could be supplied by community-based research, by doing it. No? And it has a strong reasons for integrating community-based research, as well as consideration on how are you going to evaluate then the students. How are they going to be graded? So it has to be considered in the integration process. And finally, if you feel that, oh, community-based research is appropriate here, because anyway we're talking about how like for example, people working now are hampered by the pandemic, and the concern, the focus of this course is developing enterprises or any business engagement that would help them survive at this time. So that may be, no? So you do that, and then what are those competencies? Could that be supplied by this, and so on? So that's part of the designing the course. So these are the questions which I also mentioned earlier. Points to ponder about appropriateness of the course. Is the course about learning research skills? Will CBR be a focus? Will research work complement the classroom learning of students? Do the students already acquire research skills? And therefore, there's a question, given the pandemic that we have now, will CBR be possible? And that is community-based research possible. How will this be designed? How will this be designed? So this is for appropriateness of the course. How about the learning competencies? Are research skills the ultimate learning of the course? So is it a research class? Is CBR the primary focus of the course? Or is it the results of the CBR? Are students expected to write the proposal only or to produce the manuscript? Will the research activity of students not hamper the required learning competencies before them? Take note that our students have many other requirements in other courses, so it is a very important consideration. Rationale. What school policy would justify the integration of research, particularly CBR? What condition in the community may allow the practice of CBR? Why will students be exposed to CBR? Again, take note that all these questions are more applicable to normal times. So, but if you intend to do it also at this time, then you always have to consider the situation. What's the best way then that CBR would still be experienced by students, but having them protected from all the health problems. Evaluation of learning and research points to consider. How will the students be given grades if the CBR is done as a class output and not individually? What are the parameters for grading students? Is it process one or terminal output? For designing the course, will the CBR to conduct an assessment, or will the CBR to conduct an assessment, or through action research? Sorry. Will the students work on an existing CBR of the teacher? Will the whole course about designing research or doing research? Will the research be a whole semester activity or only for a certain period? Actually, the points I raised here on designing the course is applicable also to other subjects, not only not only on CBR. When we use service learning, we always think about how this could be implemented within the given period. So these are considerations that we have to think about. If you're going to do, if you're going to engage in CBR, These are some of the preliminary activities we have to undertake. We have to have a partnership with identified community. And I put here a timeline that, perhaps it could be done during the first semester, depending on the course, no? Depending on the course. And then in purging a partnership with a community, we have to identify a problem, confronting them, together with them. So we have initial talks, and students will be involved in that. Well, like right now, as I've said, given the pandemic, we can do that perhaps online, virtual meetings, so on. So that will be interesting. What kind of topic would that be? Then we have to formulate the research problem to understand the extent of the community problem, design the method of gathering and analysis, then decide on the budget and the potential source of funds, and then we have to write the CBR proposal with students, but in continuing consultation with the partner community. So that will be second semester. Perhaps this one may be, feasible at this time because there would be less contact. But what's very important is to consider any activity that could be done virtually, given all the restrictions of having large gatherings, and given the situation that face-to-face classes are not yet approved, we're still going to happen. Then implement the CBR proposal with other sets of students another semester. The point I'm saying here is that a teacher would think of using CBR because he or she has the intention of writing a paper based on the result of the study, and then involving students as part of their service learning experiences, should do that not in one semester only. So it has to be planned. First the writing, first the partnership, working with them along that line, knowing the problem that has to be addressed. That's the first semester. And second semester, the writing together with the students also. And then still consulting with the community. And the third semester, that would be first semester of the next year, would be the implementation. And next semester would be the writing and so on. It's going to be a long process. But what is very important here is that students were able to learn the rigors of doing community-based research. At the same time, they are able to interact with the community and learn some of their problems, which they also discuss in the classroom together with the teachers. Then the community has an outlet also of expressing their ideas, and we're able to project themselves in what way that the realities that they are experiencing are being captured in the whole process of doing research and participating in the whole research process. So given those as preliminary, some of the activities that we have to undertake, the writing of the proposal could follow this simple. Make this simple. The first three parts actually is the proposal type. So the introduction and then the methods, then the results, discussion, conclusions, and references cited. References cited is also part in the proposal. Is the manuscript. So if you're able to write this way, don't think of a thesis or dissertation that's so complicated and oftentimes boring to work on. This format allows you to be direct, to be specific, and really focus on what is it that you would like to express and what is it that you'd like to investigate, and to find answers later on. If you're going to submit proposal to the Research and Development Center, we have the details of the introduction and the methods and the expected results to be followed, and that's available, of course, on the website of Silliman University. So this one, no? So very simple format. So what are the details of the sections? So in the Rationale, you provide the context, and that refers to the nature, extent, and salience of the identified practical problem or issue that we're able to validate with the partner community. And then there's that proposed intervention. What should be done? In this case, I'm talking now of action research. So the rationale, extent, and limitation of the intervention, innovation, or strategy are explained here in detail, and how it may address the theoretical problem or issue. And that means the research problem based on literature review or prior research project. Now, this is the details of the formulation of the research problem. So when we identify the research problem and then write about it in the proposal, it should be able to logically connect the context and what is it that we would like to inquire. Also, the problems of the research problems have basis, and that's the context, the basis, context. And there is that clear discussion on how practical problem or issue results to that kind of inquiry, so that at the end you're able to write the kind of change that we desire, or the kind of change that the research aim to achieve at the end. I have here an example. Of a practical problem and theoretical problem. This is what you're doing actually right now in the process. So the practical problem and theoretical problem are two different things, but they're very much related. Practical problem is what is bothering the community. Theoretical problem is the problem that comes out from the practical problem. Practical problem needs solution, so what is bothering the community could be addressed. The theoretical problem requires answers, so that this could provide solutions or ways of addressing the practical problem. So I have here an example. The practical problem is the poor income due to declining fisheries. So that's a practical problem. That the theoretical problem would be, what would be the ways to check poor income and fisheries at risk? So it's addressing, therefore, the practical problem, if there would be answers to those questions. Then we have here interventions generated through experience, through observations and discussions with different kinds of people, particularly the community. We have clustering, fish value adding, and then anti-IUUF campaign. And IUUF means illegal and reported and unregulated fishing. If that problem could be addressed, the practical problem could be addressed by these interventions, then there could be an improved income and fisheries. In the case of the theoretical problem, measuring the effect of this, it may perhaps lead to diverse income sources and reduce fishing pressure, and therefore those answers turned into those answers in the research would then able to connect with the expected results, of having those intervention in practical terms, where we have improved income and fisheries. So that's an illustration for research problem. The methods. The methods would always consider who would be the sources of data. So we need to have a description of the target participants and the reasons why they are being included in the study. And here we go then to the reasons for the use of this kind of method. Is it going to be a survey? Is it going to be participant observations and any other applicable ways of doing it? But one important consideration is that the method of gathering data should always be aligned to the research problem in terms of the kind of data to be collected. Then, as mentioned here, appropriateness for obtaining the desired kind of data. The data analysis plan, I don't have to go to details of this. I just want you to know then that if you're going to do quantitative research, statistics have a significant role for this. If you're going to simply describe, then we have descriptive statistics. If you want to compare the condition before and after, we have comparative, or test of difference. And then if you want to know how one variable affect another variable, then you have correlational, or what do you call this one? Test of relationship of variables. Again, the choice of the method of data analysis must be appropriate to the nature of data. So we have here examples, categorical or nominal, ranking or ordinal, and scores and units of measures. That's interval. Again, I don't have to go to the details of that. But the point here is that the nature of data determines the kind of statistics you are going to use. So the section on the plan and the cost estimate is also required if you're going to submit a proposal. So here, work plan shows periodic activities to undertake, enumerates the objectives and corresponding activities with schedules, and then it's really nice to present that using a Gantt chart, because it would show the directions and what activities had been done already and what is still going to be done. Then we have cost estimates. We always consider then who are to be included, and the corresponding fees perhaps, and what are the costs also of the materials to be used. Then plans for dissemination and utilization. There's so many ways for that. It's very important that at the end of doing research, you should be able to disseminate the results, so this could be utilized for addressing the problem. In similar situations, publication, as I've said, is the ultimate of this. But you could also present this as news reports. It could also be in conferences or any discussion groups. Then you have references cited. And yeah, I mentioned this already earlier, the format. But what's very important to consider here is that when you submit a manuscript, you have to first consider to what journal you're going to submit the manuscript or your paper, and then you have to format that according to the required format of that journal. It's very important. That's the first consideration, really. Then synthesis and impressions. This is the last section. opportunities provided by community-based research. Community service in the form of research data for the community. That's the that's the basic, that's the most important thing that you're able to get from community-based research. As I've said, research is one of the services for service learning. It becomes a teaching learning platform for teachers and students to teach the conduct of research as well as other experiences needed by students. It is an opportunity to directly engage and be exposed to the community. Students then are able to connect what is taught inside the classroom and what they observe and experience with the people in the community. Finally, it becomes a form of community empowerment in terms of getting involved and be heard through the process of research. And therefore, any interventions or programs for them is actually a result of their conversation with the academic community. And I'm referring to the teachers and the students. So what the teachers then suggest as a way of solving problems in the community are actually coming also from the community. That's really the whole essence then of community-based research. Okay, so that's the end of the session. Thank you very much for bearing with me. It's almost 1 hour. Thank you. Take it away.
Thank you very much, Dr. 𝓔𝓲𝓻𝓲, for that very informative presentation on community-based research for service learning. So at this juncture, thank you also, and we are grateful, sir, for sharing your time, your knowledge, and expertise to us for this afternoon's ETALK. At this juncture, we will now entertain questions. Let's check from the Q&A box for some questions. Any questions from the participants? Please type your questions at the Q&A box for the Zoom participants, and for FB, please give your comments to the comments box.
Dr. Lily is raising her hand.
Sir?
Dr. Lily is raising her hand.
Dr. Lily, you are recognized.
Hi. Good afternoon, Doc. Let me just go ahead voice out my question, so it's kind of so I'm not typing. Thank you so much, sir, for that presentation. So just clarification, sir, because like there's always or not always, but typically a confusion between service learning and extension. So when we look at community-based rehab programs and we would like to do a research, and the faculty member, let's say, involved in the facilitation of the service learning, what is the role of that faculty? Is that like part of the curriculum, like when they do research, or that could be also included as an extension participation?
Okay, that's a good question, actually. if you do not have yet background really of the difference, no? Actually, I have a module for that, also distinguishing the different types of community engagement. So let me start, Doc Lily, sa community engagement. Community engagement includes several types. Extension work, outreach, uh, volunteerism, and any other activities that bring no, students to the community or any faculty, but not connected with the course, or it's not connected to a lesson in the course. If that is, all of those are connected with a lesson, with a topic, or a requirement in the class, that could be service learning. As I mentioned at the start, that service learning is always anchored to the classroom. So if students engage themselves in a community, but that is simply to give service without any academic what do you call this one, link, no? That is simply outreach. It's not going to be service learning. Now the confusion here is that because this all involved relating with people, with community people, but the only thing that you have to distinguish is students are given grades in service learning. Now, how about internship? They're given grades, but take note, internship is primarily for skill development, more focus on that. Service learning would go beyond that. It goes beyond that. Now, in the case of having your students participate in your extension program of providing rehabilitative, activities with people in the community, that could be a form of service learning for them if that's part of their course. If they volunteer for doing it, it's volunteerism. Again, I'll go back to the distinction. It's the grade. It's the learning. It's the grade given to the learning they have derived on the process of engaging the community. I hope that would make it clear that therefore, your extension program could be a venue for your service learning.
Thank you, Doc. Yes, because that's where actually sometimes we get confused because you made a perfect example of our community-based programs. So it is part of internship. So it's developing the skill with like dealing with people and treating them. But then how do we now because that's a challenge that we have actually. That's why I'm asking, because with our PASCO, it's like that's our major deficiency, like our service learning and extension programs. And so I think all these years we have provided primarily mga CBR program, pero hindi ro enough yun. So then I might not need to touch base with you to give me examples specifically on how it could be separate from the internship program. So maybe that would be a separate thing na lang.
Yeah, actually you're able to maximize the use of your resources. One, you have to report that that center you have is part of your extension program. Report it that way. Now it becomes also the venue of your internship program. Okay, for your service learning, you have simply to add something, an ingredient, no, to add to that, and it's the principle of reflection that students would be doing, not reflection about the skills they earned or they learned from engaging in that center, but the whole process of it. Now, so don't be confused. It's more of reporting only that that's your extension program, which you use also for your internship. But by the way, when you talk about extension program, Manggod, it's always associated with professionals doing services, and your faculty are doing extension program. But then when you brought in your students for their internship, that's your internship program. They have the number of hours to earn, right? So that would be given the mark. If you have other students, not only intern, helping also in the center, but then what they are doing is related to a lesson or certain skills that they have to learn from that lesson, but they have to apply it. That would be service learning. So at the end, you are maximizing the use of your time and the use of your resources. So kung perfect ka na, ma'am, you have already your extension program, you have your internship program, and you have your service learning program. It's a matter lang how you report it and how you justify it.
So documentation, Doc, like
And
essentially.
all of this show that you have community engagement.
Yes.
Right.
And that I know
Maghatag,
for a fact we
yeah.
have. It's just the delineation ba of
Yeah,
activity.
that's correct. It's always creates that kind of confusion eh. Basta ko no, my students are there, service learning na. It's not always the case. And if you're going to give some Christmas gift during a certain, gift during Christmas, sige, you can call that one outreach program. Kaya usually ang outreach mong good, one time lang na siya. Seasonal na siya. It's not programmatic, no? So kanang service learning program, programmatic na siya. Internship, programmatic na siya. Extension, the more na programmatic na siya. Therefore, ang inyong extension program becomes the host of your internship and your service learning. So klaro, sa internship, you only have your graduating students. For your service learning, it involves other students. Kaya na ma'am, how to distinguish the three.
If I may ask one last question, Doc. Like,
sure.
I'm sorry to be with regards to research naman, Doc, because we have attempted to do research, but it seems like we cannot remove the bias because like some of these people that we serve in the community, we serve them. So sometimes like the responses are just all positive. Like nothing to improve on and such, and so it kind of makes it difficult, I think, when your respondents are people you are directly related with. So unless we're doing like a qualitative, but we were attempting to do a quanti sana. Qualitative, yes, it's open anyway. But with quanti, we're trying to kind of like look into the amount of, let's say, the progress with regards or something that's related to that. Pero medyo we're having some issue with the quanti component, though.
Doc, clearly my suggestion is you take off from the results of your qualitative. Do qualitative study first, and then look for trends and patterns. And if you'd like to measure really this, and you develop an instrument from there, then you could have that quantitative part na.
That's a good idea nga, Doc, no?
Oh,
So maybe
siya.
one step at a time. No? So instead of quanti first, quali muna.
You contact me later if you would like to pursue that.
Thank you, Doc. Okay, thank you,
I'm willing
Doc.
to help.
Thank you.
Oh.
All right, thanks, Doc.
Pwede na nato ibutang sa faculty development grant.
Thank you, Doc Lely. Thank you. So from a comment from Facebook page, we have from Sir Mariano Umba. Thank you, Dr. Rationale. Okay. So another question here from Mr. 𝓔𝓷𝓻𝓲𝓷𝓷. Would you recommend a change in the service learning based curriculum at SU for undergrad students? It's currently a certificate program in the psychology department, and CBR is one of the subjects required, but it's only for 1 semester. Sir?
The question is, I did not get it exactly, I think.
Would you recommend a change in the SL-based curriculum at SU for undergrad students?
Okay.
It's currently a certificate program in the psychology department, and a CBR is one of the subjects required, but it's only for 1 semester.
I think the question there is more on the one semester.
1 semester,
so
yes,
perhaps make it to 6 units, so 2 semester. First semester is proposal writing, and then the next semester would be the implementation. Take note, when you get your URIC clearance, no, the ethics clearance, it will take that long. And perhaps along that line, I could suggest to extend that one, I mean, to give more credits for that. But having CBR under service learning, that's a good design. Now, as I've said, that community-based research could be one activity under service learning. No? So katong point nga, what would be my suggestion? One semester, I think, is very limited, but that depends also on the method. But considering that we need to have ethics clearance, it would take time, unless there is a subject that prepares a student in the writing of the proposal, then that one sem, no, for the actual is already in the implementation, which I'm doing in my research classes actually. That before the next semester, this semester now, they are applying for ethics clearance. I hope that would answer the
the question of Sir
Darrell.
Robinson. Yeah. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Another question from Sir 𝓔𝓷𝓻𝓲𝓷𝓷. Sir, just want to ask, how do we deal a community-based research on impact study already for existing extension activities for sustainability purposes?
That's a problem if there is no baseline data. Now, my point is that when you do an impact, you must have first. Now, this is one design. The first design is to have before and after. Then make a comparison. But it is already existing. What could be done perhaps is just to what they call this one, to have recall, no, simple recall. Then CBR may be used depending on how it is going to be designed. The other design would be comparing a community without the intervention and a community with intervention, but they must have the same characteristics. Then you could also measure the impact of a project. But ideally, if you do an impact study, you must have a baseline data, no? And then using the same participants, you measure the impact. And CBR could be. And ideally, pag yun, ang CBR yun is you work with the people, design the project, implement the project, then measure the impact of the project with the same people. That's an ideal scenario. Now we're trying to resolve that problem. Nanang project, there's already an existing project, and you would like to measure the impact of it. I was just, hoping you have baseline data for that. If not, then you could engage in simple recall. But that's more perceptions now.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Hope that answers the question of Sir 𝓔𝓷𝓻𝓲𝓷𝓷. Another question from Mr. Arnel Porlas. Hello, sir. My question is, as a student from graduate school, is it okay to create a CPR?
Is it okay to
create
for
a
thesis,
CPR?
For thesis or dissertation like that?
Maybe. Okay. What can you advise, sir?
Yeah, it's a research design there. Community-based research is designed, no? And then if the student wanted to have a thesis along that line, then as I've said, doing it could then be could be approached through action research where you have intervention. But again, it's going to be dependent on what would be the objectives of that CBR. Is it simply to identify the intervention or to measure the effect of the intervention? It would be two different things. If simply to identify solutions to a problem, which be shorter, in terms of time, it's possible. The other one is after identifying and then introduce the intervention and then measure the effect of the intervention, it would be longer period. It's going to be in a longer period. Personally, I would say it's okay. That's an approach in doing a study. Ma'am Isabel, you're muted.
Thank you, sir. According to Sir 𝓔𝓷𝓻𝓲𝓷. Another question here. The visual arts community of 𝓔𝓷𝓻𝓲𝓷, will motivation as factor be easy to measure?
There's a word. What was that word?
Will motivation as factor be easy to measure?
Motivation easy to measure?
Yes, sir.
Well, let's now talking about instrument, no? So you need to have an instrument to measure motivation. There may be a standardized test for that, or a researcher may develop a measure for that for a specific object, or target, and then that could be one research project already. Development of measure of motivation in what? In painting or in doing artwork. Yeah, but that well, is the question supposed to connect that with CBR? If that would be the intention,
there was no mention.
But I would just connect that because my topic is on CBR. The development of that tool, of that motivation measure, should be done using CBR. So katong mga artists would come together and talk about it, and then design it, and then test it, validate it, and so on. So that's it. It's going to be a process. It's possible.
There's another question here, sir. Will the fate of the sugarcane workers will still be a good subject for community-based research?
Fate?
Fate, F-A-T-E.
Wait. Well, for CBR?
Yes, sir.
Actually, that's a very interesting topic. Working with them, depending on what specific research problem would be addressed, and depending also what problem. Siguro the problem is about wages. So using CBR, following the steps, talking to them first, identify the research focus, what problem to investigate, and then along the way, ask them to help. The result would be really very realistic because they're involved in the formulation of the research problem, anchored on their respective realities. Yeah, mismo, they would be helpful in gathering the data because this is significant to them.
Okay, sir.
So rather than go to literature review, the researcher can go to the groups of these mga workers and talk to them. That's, as I've said, that's the initial step really in doing community-based research. Forge a relationship with or partnership with the community where the study has to be conducted, and identify the research problem. Identify the problem per se, and the research problem to be investigated together with them.
Okay, sir.
I would love to to know what will be the result for that, because that's a very relevant social issue right now.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you for Doc Lily, Sir Darrell Robinson, Coach Kanyal, and Sir Arnel Porlas for your questions. And before we end this e-talk, here's an evaluation link in the chat box. Can you please answer the evaluation link for the participants? Please answer our evaluation link. So, is there any questions from the participants? Dr. Rashon is very willing to share his knowledge.
Ma'am Isabel,
Yes, sir.
could I just make an announcement? For any research concern, the Research and Development Center is willing to assist. No, just contact the office for any research, research topic or research focus that you would like to pursue, and you need assistance to develop the proposal. We're willing to help.
So thank you, sir. So participants, Dr. Rashon is very willing to help. So you can contact 422-6002, local 417, sir.
Yeah. Oh, no,
Okay.
not for 17, that's ODL.
Ay, ano, sir? Ano ganito, sir?
348.
348. Okay.
And you order what?
Or you can directly go to his office.
Yeah. Or
So,
Google Meet.
Google Meet, yes, sir. And
Messenger.
you can also send an email to Sir Rashon, Dr. Rashon. So, any more questions? If there's none, so let's go to the presentation of the certificate.
Oh,
Let me read you the citations of the Certificate of Participate Recognition. This certificate is presented to 𝓔𝓷𝓻𝓲𝓷 in grateful recognition and sincere appreciation as a research speaker during the e-talk with the topic Community-Based Research for Service Learning, held on February 23, 2022 via interactive Facebook Live and Zoom. Signed, Assistant Professor 𝓔𝓷𝓻𝓲𝓷, our acting university librarian, and Dr. 𝓔𝓷𝓻𝓲𝓷𝓷, our Vice President for Academic Affairs. Thank you, Dr. Rashon.
Thank
At
you
this
very much.
juncture, we will have our closing remarks. So it's been our pleasure being with all of you today. Thank you so much to our speaker, Dr. 𝓔𝓷𝓻𝓲𝓷, for your time and sharing your bright ideas and expertise. Sir, thank you also to all our participants this afternoon and to my colleagues in the profession. Thank you so much for making this activity a success. God bless everyone. Stay safe and have a great day ahead. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone.